Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome once again to another session of our lesson in the program Learn and Speak Arabic Language Like the Natives in 6 months. This is lesson 4, module 3. In this lesson, we'll be looking at full details about Al-ISM, which is noun. Al-ISM, basically noun or name. Everything Allah created has a name, and in fact, it is expedient to start learning about names of things or nouns in general, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first thing He taught human being through Adam was a name of things. Remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling the angels about Adam, and Allah said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first thing He taught Adam was names of things. And after doing so, He presented him to the angels. And He was proud of him for the fact that He taught him knowledge, basically names of things, and that is the first knowledge human being acquired. Names of things. For this reason, we'll be looking at nouns basically. This justifies the reason why in learning any language you start learning the nouns. Okay, so let's start. If knowing about things or names of things is expedient so much that Allah taught Adam, then of course we should ask, or we should teach ourselves how to ask about names of things in Arabic. If you are a new learner or a new user of a given language, any language whatsoever, one of the things you would have to know first is how to ask about names of things. If you see these, you ask about the name of these, about the names of that. Alright, so for that reason, we look at how to ask questions in Arabic. Basically, how to ask about things that you don't know. So this takes us to what is this? How to ask what is this? We say ma hada. Ma hada. Okay, ma is what and hada is this. Now let's carry on. In the following expressions, we have names of given things that are common, and let's try to learn it and of course memorize them. Please, in order not to miss out on any lesson in this program, ensure to subscribe to our channel and like every lesson. Also turn on the bell button to get notifications about new updates. And of course, yes, ensure to share to others who are interested in learning Arabic as a second language or third language. Alright, so ma hadha, what is this? So we have hadha bayt. This is a response to the question ma hadha. Hadha baytun. Remember we say baytun with tanween. In the previous lesson, we learned about tanween, and we said it's one of the signs that allows you to identify a noun. هذا بيت. Now another expression here we have, this is a door. هذا باب. In another expression, this is a chair. هذا كرسي. Expression 4 is this is a bed. هذا سرير. Expression 5, we have this is a table. هذا مكتب. The next expression, number 6, this is a pen. هذا قلم. Number 7, this is a book. هذا كتاب. Expression 8, we have this is a shirt. هذا قميص. Learn these words and add them to your list of new words. Alright, having known how to ask questions about what is this and how to respond to that. Now let's find another way to ask a question. we want to ask question, is this? Is this? You saw something but you're not certain or sure about what you see, then of course you have to ask question whether it is what you see or what you not, or what you think, or what you do not think about. All right. When a question is asked in the format is this, the response is naam or la. If it is positive, you say naam, and that is yes. And if it is negative, you say la, and that is no. Having understood that, let's ask the following questions and let's see the response that we get. Is this a house? How do you go about that? We say أهذا بيت. أهذا بيت. Is this a house? The response is positive, so we say yes, this is a house. نعم هذا بيت. نعم هذا بيت. Number 2, we have, is this a key? أهذا مفتاح. أهذا مفتاح. Is this a key? The response is negative, so we say no, this is a door. لا هذا باب. Okay, number 3, is this a television? أهذا تلفزيون. Or we can say أهذا تلفاز. Is this a television? The response again is no, so we say no, this is a radio. We say لا هذا مذياع. مذياع is a radio set. لا هذا مذياع. Okay, so for television, you can either say تلفزيون or you say تلفاز. Alright, having understood this takes us to how to ask questions about, how to identify, or basically the categorization of noun. Categorization of noun. We've looked at how to ask questions about things, how to be certain whether what you think is right or not. Now, this takes us to categorizations of noun. Noun categorization. Al-ISM can be categorized into 3. We can divide al-ISM into 3 different categories based on the following principles or following qualities. The first one is division of noun or category of noun based on definiteness or indefiniteness. In English, we have a definite article and indefinite article. So we can say the man, or we say a man, the boy, or a boy. So when you say the boy, that is definite. And when you say a boy, that is indefinite. So we have something similar in Arabic. Under definiteness and indefiniteness of noun, we have a noun that is called al-ma'rifah. A category, basically, a category of noun called al-ma'rifah. Most commonly, we have noun that has al. For example, al-Jannah. So basically, when you have a noun that has the in English, okay, so al represent the in English. So when you have al attached to your word, to your noun, you have al-Jannah, for example, al-Bayt, Baytun, a house. And when you had your al, it becomes al-Baytu. Is that taken? Babun, a door. You had al to it becomes al-Babu, the door. Okay, that is for definite category. Basically, when we say al-Ma'rifah, the noun is more than Ma'rifah noun. When we say a noun is Ma'rifah, we have more than just one type of noun under this. There could be 6 type of noun under al-Ma'rifah. There could be 6 type of noun under what? Al-Ma'rifah. So, later in the subsequent lesson, we'll look at the different types of nouns under the category al-Ma'rifah. Now let's look at indefinite noun. Indefinite noun is a nakra. A nakra. A nakra. Alright. A nakra basically is identified by tanween. We've learned tanween, and we mentioned that tanween is one of the signs that allows you to identify a noun. So we have tanween. Tanween. Please take note of that. It's very important. When a noun has tanween, we say it is a nakra. It is indefinite. For example, baytun. And we have kitabun. Baytun, kitabun. Is that clear? This category has no further divisions. It has no other types of noun under it. Just one thing. A noun with tanween is called a nakra or indefinite. Alright. If this is understood, let's look at the second category of noun. Now in terms of gender. Al-jins. Now in terms of what? Gender. In this case, Arabic is gender based. So we have masculine gender and feminine gender. Just two categories under these two divisions of noun under this category. Masculine noun and we have feminine noun. Al-mudhakkar and al-mu'annath. Okay, let's look at each of these, and especially for al-mu'annath. How do we identify a feminine noun? How do we identify a feminine noun? Major signs of a feminine noun. Signs of a feminine noun. Signs of a feminine noun. Let's look at that. How do you identify when you see a word? How do you identify a noun as feminine? There are three major signs to allow you to identify a noun. Identifying a masculine noun is not a problem once you are able to identify the signs of a feminine noun. So which means if those signs are not present, and then it means that the noun is a masculine noun. Now, there are three major signs. The first one is round ta. Ta marbuta. Ta marbuta. The round ta. That's as you see there. So usually when you see a word having this letter, it is a feminine noun. Let's look at some examples. We have here talibun. Talibun. Okay, and that's for talib is masculine, and you have talibatun, and that shows the other word which the ta is a feminine. Talibatun. The other one without it is a masculine. Talibun, which is student. Let's look at another example. Mu'minatun. And the other side of it is a masculine without the ta. Mu'minun. Mu'minun. Mu'minatun. Mu'minun. Mu'minatun. Is that clear? Now let's look at another word like the proper nouns. So we have Fatimatu. Fatimatu. Okay, and of course we have Aishatu. Aishatu. All these nouns, they are proper nouns. We will come into all of that later. However, since this letter has this sign, this word has a sign, the feminine word. Fatimatu, Aishatu. That's the first sign to identify a noun. The second sign to identify a feminine noun actually is what is called alif maksura. Alif maksura is very important. Alif maksura. What is an alif maksura? Alif maksura is an alif in the image of ya. An alif in the image of ya. Now, let's look at some examples of this word. As you can see right here, we have the word husna. Husna. And husna is a name and it's a feminine noun. So it ends in alif maksura. We have shukra. It's also a feminine noun because it ends in this word. Is that taken? Now we have different words like that. We could have another word like norma. Norma. Is that taken? Now, when you see words like this, you know that they are actually a feminine noun. Okay, if that's taken, let's look at the third sign or the third identity to allow you identify a feminine noun, and this is alif mamdud. Alif mamdud. What is alif mamdud? Alif mamduda is an alif written together with hamza. An alif written together with an hamza. Okay, so when you have an alif written together with an hamza, alif, hamza, in this manner, okay, the name that which this word is attached to is a feminine noun. All right, let's look at some examples here. Now we have names like Sahra, Sahra, Sahra. Okay, Hamra, Hamra. All of these name, and we have different examples in that manner. Okay, so this shows that these nouns that has these signs actually are feminine now. All right, let's take note of that. Okay, please get a pen and a paper ready to put down this lesson, especially these examples. Okay, very well. So in summary, the signs that allows you to identify a feminine noun are the rounder, that's one. Number two, alif maqsura. And number three, we have the alif mamduda with example. Okay, now let's look at the other type. Basically, this one does not have any letter to identify. It is called sama'i. Sama'i. And why do we say sama'i? Sama'i are words that are used according to the native speakers, the way you heard it from them. This type of feminine nouns does not have any particular sign to identify them as a feminine. They are just accepted as such because the native language speaker uses it that way, or the Quran uses it that way, or the Hadith uses it that way, or some poetic users, okay, are used in that manner. So these kind of feminine nouns are called sama'i. Okay, now let's take some examples where we have some hint that could help us identify some of these, not all of them anyways, some of them. The first one is noun that relates to the part of the body in pair. When you have names of your part of the body that are two, these nouns are feminine. An example is al-ain. Al-ain, the eye. The eyes are two. So for that reason, they are feminine. And they are parts of the body and they are two. So that it's feminine. Leg is also two, a rijl. Another part of the body that is also categorized as a feminine noun is the ear, and we call it al-udhun. 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 Is that clear? Al-udhun. Please put this down. Al-udhun. So written in Arabic this way. Al-udhun. All right. Al-udhun. Very good. Al-udhun. All right, that's it. All right, if that's understood, of course, let's look at some other miscellaneous words Basically, these words, in fact, has no int. They're just the words used as a native speaker, think of it as a feminine noun. An example here is a souk, market, a nar, fire, a shams, sun, and we have many of them. Sometimes we could have qidr, pot, and that could be also a feminine word. So we have many of them, so you can get yourself acclimatized to these nouns, to this type of noun, by simply reading books or checking dictionaries or poems or other Arabic texts that could help you identify nouns. All right, I'm going to give you a classwork to do. Look for words that are regarded as feminine without any signs whatsoever. Feminine nouns in Arabic that are sama'i. Feminine nouns in Arabic that are sama'i. Get as much as examples you go. Okay, let me give you a limit. Find 10 of them, different than the one I have here. And it must be submitted. Write in that in your notebook, and it must also be submitted in the comment section. This is very important. Once again, ensure to subscribe, like, and of course turn on the bell for notification and share to others. All right, let's look at the third category of noun. In this case, we'll be looking at noun in terms of number. Noun in terms of number. Remember, we have three categories of noun. Noun in terms of definiteness, al-ma'rifah, and al-nakra. Noun in terms of gender, we have mudhakkar, al-mudhakkar, and al-mu'annath. Mudhakkar, masculine, mu'annath is feminine. And now we're going to be looking at the third category of al-ism, which is noun in terms of number, al-adad. In this case, we have three types of noun under this case. We have singular noun. We have singular noun, and singular noun is al-mufrad. Al-mufrad. For example, we have a student, talibun, talibun, kitabun. Is that taken? Talibun, kitabun. Just one student, one book. Now let's look at the second type. The second type in terms of number, we have dual noun, and this is al-muthanna. Al-muthanna. In Arabic, as opposed to English, you have three divisions of noun with respect to number. You have singular, dual, and plural, as opposed to English, where we have only singular and plural. And singular is one in English, while plural starts from two and above in English as well. However, in Arabic, one is mufrad, two is dual. We have two, we can make reference to two things separately. And we have the plural, which is from three and above. I've understood that. Now let's look at how we have our dual noun. An example is this. We have طالبان, kitabani. How do we form the muthanna from the mufrad? How do we do that? It's quite simple. Look at this principle, the tip here. Just add alif and noun to your singular noun, and that's all. You have talibun. Then you add your alif to the ba and your noun after the alif, and becomes talibani. Remember, in lesson 1, we talked about vowels, long vowels and short vowels. When we get to the long vowels, when we were talking about long vowels, we said alif is peculiar to fatha. Alif mad is related to fatha. It goes with fatha. Ya mad goes with kasra, and wa mad goes with dhamma. And this is why when we attach alif mad to the ba, it attracts fatha. Talibun becomes taliba. And then we had our noon kasrani, talibani. It's no brainer. It's quite simple. Now, let's look at the plural. It's not hard. For example, think of it now. We can talk of maktab, table. Okay? Table. So we say what? Maktabun. So how do I say two tables? Two tables. Okay. All right. Yes. Good. You had alif and noon. Alif and noon. That's it. Maktabani. It's as simple as that. Maktabani. Okay. Good. Now let's look at the third one. And here we're going to be looking at the plural. Plural. And this is al-jam'u. Al-jam'u. Plural nouns. Let's talk about a more general plural nouns. You can have Muslim, Muslimuna. Muslim, Muslimuna. Mu'min, Mu'minuna. For masculine. Muslim, Muslimuna. Mu'min, Mu'minuna. Okay? For masculine. For feminine, we have Muslimatun. Muslimatun. Later, we're going to be talking about how you form your plural noun. Okay, please just take note of everything you're learning. Now, before we talk about how, we have to talk about the types of plural that we have. This takes us to number one plural type of plural, free or sound plural. This is called jam'un salimun, al-jam'u as-salim, or you go by nakra saying jam'un salimun, a free or sound plural. Okay, that's the first one. Now, let's talk about a free or sound plural. The second type, okay, before we talk about that, the second type is broken plural. Broken plural. That is jam'u taksir. Jam'u taksir. Or jam'un mukassar. Broken plural. Now let's talk about the sound plural. Sound masculine plural. There are two types. You can have sound masculine plural, and of course you can have sound feminine plural. How do we form sound masculine plural? You just add your waw and noon to that noun. But not all noun, you can just do that too. You cannot say because you want to form kitab and you say kitabun. That's wrong. So which kind of noun or what kind of noun do you just add alif and noon? You know, nouns that goes with these kind of plural system is that nouns that are formed, nouns that are derived or formed from a verb. Let's just say from a verb. Yeah. Nouns that are mushtaq min al-fi'l. Nouns that are formed from a verb. For example, Muslim. When you say Muslim is a word, is a noun that is formed from a verb, yuslim. Is that clear? So this kind of noun is a noun that you can form. You can just add alif and noon to it, and it give you the plural, the sound plural. So you can say Muslimun as a singular. Okay, yuslim is a verb. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write that. Yuslim is a verb. Okay, yuslim is a verb. So let's have it here. Yuslim is a verb. So while Muslim is a noun that is formed from it, we have something similar in English as well. We have nominalization, where you can make your noun, you can make your adjective become a noun. Okay, so an example. Let's see. We have Muslimun, right? And we want to say two Muslims. You say Muslimani. It's quite simple. And if we want to say Muslims, You say Muslimuna. Muslimuna. Exactly. This applies to any noun that is formed from its, usually from its verb. Okay, so let's look at the sound feminine plural. Sound feminine plural is quite easy as well. You just take the ta. Remember why we're talking about signs to allow you to identify a noun. We talk about ta marbuta. You just remove the ta marbuta, the round ta, and replace it with alif and ta. You replace it with alif and a wide ta. Alif and a what? And a wide ta in this manner. Yeah, just do this. And ta, just like that. An example, we have muslimatun, and then you remove the small ta and you replace it with alif. It becomes muslimatun. Muslimatun, muslimatun, in that manner. Okay, very well. This one, well, there's some nouns, not necessarily from nouns formed from their verb alone. There are many nouns that could come in this kind of feminine system. Okay, let's quickly look at the broken plural. Jam'u taksir. Jam'u taksir. You know, we have irregular nouns, irregular plural or verb in English as well. For example, regular forms of plural, you can go like in English. Let's quickly have a recap so that you can understand what broken plural are. If you understand what regular and irregular plurals are in English. For example, if I say, for example, key. Okay, I would the regular one, just say keys, had S. Okay, another example, bag, and you have bags, just had S. Now it becomes irregular when, for example, you have monkey. No, when you have baby, okay, and then you have babies. It's becoming irregular already. And you can think of many other like that. Lady, and you begin to have ladies. So it's somewhat irregular because it's no more going by adding s. There's some that you had es. All right. So this is what we're talking about. And of course, yes, let's look at ox. And the plural of ox, isn't it oxen? If I'm right, this is irregular as well. So this is broken. This is a broken form of plural. So we have something similar in English, in Arabic as well. Broken plural, meaning that the original word is broken. It's the structure of the original is broken. Remember, for the free or sound masculine plural, the original word is still maintained. Muslim, muslimuna. The Muslim is still there. However, for broken plural, you may at a point in time, if you see a broken plural, you cannot or may not be able to directly guess what the singular form of that noun is. So this is why it's broken. In these alterations, you put some alteration. Some alteration are partly, some alteration are total alteration to the original word structure of the singular noun. How do you know this? There are several patterns in which these things can come, but you don't have to memorize a whole pattern. Just get yourself familiar. Read books, dictionary. Look for different text to help you identify this. However, just know that there are three ways in which broken plurals are formed in all of the patterns that we talk about. There's some increment of letter. The broken plural could be just as a result of increasing one letter or two letters or three letters into the structure of the singular noun. It could also be done by decrement of letters. You could just decrease some letters from the original noun, singular noun. And sometimes it could be absolute change in vowels. Just change a vowel. The letter remains there. Just change a complete vowel. In any of these cases, whether increasing or decreasing, you are still changing vowels anyways. However, the change of vowels is done without changing any letter for this third one. That is absolute change in vowel. Now let's look at some examples of increasing letter. Masjid, that's a mosque, masjid. And to form the plural, you say masajid. Just had an alphabet in between. Masajid. Rajul, rijal. Rajul, rijal. Is that clear? So, let's look at an example of decrement. You have kitab, kutub. We have removed a letter in that scenario. Another example of absolute change in vowel. Example of absolute change in vowel. Let's get that. This is 3. Examples of absolute change in vowel. You have lion, asadun. Asadun. And asadun becomes usud. Asadun becomes what? Usud. You can see the letters are retained. However, the vowel is completely changed. Such that when this word is written down, if care is not taken, except if you know the context, you may not know how to read it, whether to say asad or usud. You don't know which one is actually intended until when you see it in context. So this is what broken plural is all about. Now let me give you an assignment, one more assignment. Look for about at least 10 different broken plurals, words with a broken plurals. Learn the singular form and of course the plural form. Okay, look for 10 words. 10 words. They're singular words. 10 singular words in their broken plural. Broken plural. Okay. All right, good. Now the second assignment, you look for, nouns. Look for 10, nouns with their sound masculine and feminine plural. Okay, please write down the assignment in your notebook and submit in the comment section for correction. Please ensure to subscribe, like this video, and turn on the button for notification, and please share to others. Thank you for coming along through this video and learning new things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you blessings and increase your knowledge. We'll stop here and we'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.